let's assume the way you celebrate your employee on their birthday would be to send out an email to them wishing them a happy birthday. So to automate that process, first we'll need the employee birthday information, and to do that we can send out a form asking them to provide their birth information. So I'm just going to send that to the user that we have, which is a test user. Of course, test user in your own case will be your entire organization. I'll go to this test user email. Next thing will be to click on it to fill out his or her information. His name is test user. Let's see, the birth month will be 5. Let's just assume today is his birth date, and the date, today's date is 20. So I'm going to click 20. So I'm going to click submit. So I will come back to the SharePoint list. I'm going to refresh, and we can see a new information, test user, and 25th of this month. So the next thing I'm going to go here is I'm going to run this flow. Of course, this flow is scheduled to run at a particular time, so since it's a test case, I'm just going to manually run it. So once I run it, once we are successful, you can click to monitor the flow, but that's not the case. I'm just going to go back to the end user email box. You can see a mail wishing the user, which is test user, from the organization, the date, and wishing him a happy birthday. So we can actually go with this approach, and to see how this feel on a mobile devices, I'm going to screen record my mobile device. So if I go directly to my inbox and I'm going to click on it, so on a mobile device, this is how it feels, this is how it looks, and which is something kind of unique. That's one approach to doing this. But for a more standard and a more advanced organization, they might not just want something this simple. They might have a graphic designer that designs birthday pictures and all of that, and in that case it becomes a little more complex. So how do we do that? First would be we are going to check for users that are celebrating birthday. So we might want to put a time frame. Let's say, okay, a user that are celebrating birthday on the 24th, on the 25th. So we can say, okay, in every 4, 5, 6 days, let's check for users that are celebrating birthday in the next 7 days, right? So to do that, in our case, we are using a threshold of 4. So if today is 20, so we might want to go and modify our birth date to be coming up on the what, on the 24th. So I'm just going to modify 5 days to be on the 24th of this month, so which is a 4-day threshold. So I'm going to look back to the workflow, and I'm going to run this check to check for a user that is celebrating birthday. So I'm just going to click on run flow. Of course, we are still dealing with test users, so don't get it twisted. So once I run that, so you see we get an email notification, and it's telling you that, oh, test user, we are started to tell you that your special day it's so. I think this is an error, fix that, but it doesn't matter. It's telling you, oh, on the 24th is your birthday, and we want you to provide a picture that will be used for your special day. So I'm just going to click here and go ahead to upload that picture. So let me assume on my special day this is the picture I want them to use. Let me click on this first, and then click on open. I'm just click on submit. So if I go back to my training, I'm going to refresh. We can see there's still no attachment because we don't just want to upload any picture that the user submits. We want to review it. We want to be sure that this picture is compliant with what our organization really wants. So if I come back here, I'm going to click on this. So this is going to take us through an approval process. First, the person reviewing it is going to first view the image that the user submitted for her birthday, if it's something that's compliant. So if he is sure that the thing is compliant, he can click on approve and then submit. Of course, you can reject, and once it's rejected, it's going to send the user an email and also asking him to re-upload a picture. So that's no problem. Even though it's rejected, you still give you the windows to start the process. So once it's approved, I come back to my SharePoint and I'm going to refresh. So once I refresh, I can see an attachment icon added to it. So I'm just going to click here to view it. So I can still click here to view the attachment, right? So for a standard organization, you might want to now save this attachment and then share it with your graphic designer to to design out any graphics that you know will work for you. So let's say you're giving it to your graphic designer, your graphic designer is done with the design, so you can come back here to re-upload it to the person's profile. So I'm just going to click here to remove this attachment that was added by the user. So now I'm going to add the one that the graphic designer has designed. So I'm just going to click on add attachment again, and I'm going to select the new one that our designer has designed. Right, so once I have that, that's perfect. So on the person who does it, this is going to be shared out with the person. So let me assume, of course I can't wait from now to 24 to complete this whole process. So I'm just going to set this back to today, which is 20. Set this back to 20. Minute 20 is now the person's birthday. If I come back here and I click on, of course these flows are scheduled, so you don't need to bother about manually running them, right? So once I click on done, it's going to take a little while to run, and then I can go back to the end user's profile, go to the end user's mail, and I can see what a happy birthday email being sent to the person, right? So I can see the attachment that was designed and then added to it, to the mail as an attachment, and of course a happy birthday message. So that's the second approach that you might want to use if your organization is a bit large and then you have a standard setup, you have a graphic designer and all of those in your organization. Well, in the next few videos we are going to walk through how we create all of this in our environment. So if you're ready, we can get started. Thank you.